Hello and welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Pooja Dwivedi and today we are going to discuss in brief about the Angadia system. This topic is important from the perspective of prelims and also from the perspective of GS Mains Paper 3. Let's know all about the system, and before that I would like to tell you about why we are discussing it. So Mumbai Police has registered cases against 3 policemen from Mumbai Police itself because they were extorting and robbing the Angadias. This was done so because of a complaint that was filed by the Angadia Association of Bhuleshwar, and they have been registered under IPC 392, that is robbery, 384, that is extortion, 341, that is wrongful restraint, and 34, that is common interest. So it has been registered against very important category of policemen, and that is against Angadias. What are Angadias? Where have they originated from? We will discuss all about that. So basically, Angadia word, it means courier. Okay. For starters, we can understand it is a courier service. It is used for courier service, and it is a 100-year-old service or a parallel banking system, we can also say. It is moving in India since the colonial era. It originated in the Kathiawar region of Gujarat, and now we see that important regions where businessmen, rich businessmen who trade in diamonds, there we can find the Angadias, specifically in Surat of Gujarat and the Zaveri Bazaar of Mumbai. So specifically, if we talk about diamond merchandise and diamond business, they do have the system of Angadias. So this is basically an unofficial banking and courier service. A person who is transferring the amount from one place to another is known as an Angadia, and they do have associations. As this system is going on since such a long time, they have their own system. Like in history, we study about the guilds, right? Guilds of artisans. Similarly, they have their own guilds, and they basically, the people who are included in the business are basically from Gujarati, Marwari or Malbari community. Okay, moving on. If we talk about the procedures, how do they work? Now, traders can send cash generally from one state to another with the help of Angadias. And this person who is basically transferring the cash in physical form is known as the Angadia. And jewelry business is very prominent when it comes to transferring of cash. And basically, you have to understand not only cash, but they might also be carrying diamonds with them. And very importantly, the route is fixed. They can have a fixed route. They have the entire system handy when it comes to knowing about the timing of the train, which train will pass through which region, so that they can reserve their seats in the train, or through the roads they can reserve a time which is not very crowded, which is not very suspicious in the sense they do want to save themselves from robbery. So in such cases, they choose a route which is much more safer, and it is generally known, and they charge a nominal fee for actually sending the amount. In banking system, crores of rupees. If they go through the digital banking system, the formal banking system, it might be that the charges of transferring the amount is very high. That is not the case with Angadias, and that is why it is much more lucrative to the traders. And we have to understand that this system cannot be banned, in the sense that if it is going on since such a long period of time, it needs to be regulated, right? So keep all these things in mind. Also, they work through a particular coding system. they might use certain words like jokhim or any word. Jokhim is a word, mainly it can be used for transfer of cash, or zevar can also be used for the jewelry. So they work on such codes which are used in common parlance in their own association of Angadias, but not known to other people. And it can happen that suppose trader A and trader B, this person is in Gujarat and this person is in Mumbai. So A is sending 2 crore rupees to B through an Angadia. Now the Angadia will be given a 10 rupee note. Okay, he will be or she will be given a 10 rupee note, and the currency number on this 10 rupee note will be told to trader B. Now when this Angadia X will take the money to trader B and they both will match the currency number which was told to be by trader A, then only the handing over of the money will happen. This is the generic system they work upon, and this is completely on trust. Many traders have their own Angadias since such a long period of time, and they completely do this business on trust. And they, as I told you, they have fixed routes and trains. Sometimes they can also reserve 30 to 50% of the local trains if they are going from one city to another city in one state, or from one state to another state. They might be doing so that they reserve the seats that are surrounding their seat, and because in order to save themselves from any sort of suspicion of robbery, they try to stay awake at night as well. And they might also do something like they take sleep by turns, and now they are also getting security guards which are privately hired. So this is the level of system they have evolved. Let's move forward and talk about what is the trail with respect to the Angadia system. Now delivery of cash and diamonds takes place on a daily basis. That means this system is very prevalent in regions of Gujarat and Mumbai. About 70% seats in 2 coaches of Gujarat Mail are booked by Angadias, as I told you. Now, these Angadia agents prefer to travel in groups for security. Surat city alone has more than 60 Angadia firms. So, Surat, Ahmedabad and Mumbai's Zaveri Bazaar, these are, of course, dealing in merchandise of diamonds. So, these are the hotspots. Post-lockdown, supply of diamonds and jewelry in Mumbai has reduced to 35% because what do? They carry the things in physical sense. So, because of no contact and because of lockdown, also they have also suffered a lot. Okay, let's see this very important thing. About 90% of valuable goods from Surat was transported from Surat to Mumbai through Gujarat Mail. After lockdown, its operation has remained suspended. This is it's a past image I have attached, but just to make you understand the gravity of the situation, that what amount of valuable goods move within one state, one city to another city. This is the gravity of the situation with respect to the Angadia system. And if we talk about, because this is an informal system, the traders are not resorting to transfer of money through the regular banking, the formal banking system. Risks are there, but as I told you, they work completely on trust. So formal banks, they includes banks and cooperatives. And if we talk about, it is not exactly related to Angadias, but I'm talking about informal banking system, which consists of money lenders, traders, employers, and friends and relatives. Now, this point is not at all relevant with respect to Angadia, so we will not read that. For Angadias, if we transfer the amount of money in crores, which is in crores, the fee charged by the banks might be exorbitant. But if we talk about the Angadias, it might not be as much as the banking system, formal banking system charges. Apart from profit making, the regular banking system, formal banking system also works towards social welfare, which is not the case with Angadias. Okay, so supervising body, if we talk about, there is not any per se supervisory body because the Angadia system is legal per se. but they do not have any supervising body like governmental body like we have the RBI or SEBI. Okay, so that increases the risks of any uncertainty that is happening in the Angadia system. First thing is Hawala, the biggest issue. Now these policemen, why did they extort or rob money from the Angadias? Because there is a suspicion with respect to they might be transferring the amount which is black money. That is why it is not going through the formal banking system. So it's okay to rob from a thief. This was their mindset. So it has been frowned upon actually that if money is not going through the formal banking system, if it is being carried by the Angadias, it can be because that money is not accounted for in the system, the governmental financial system, then this is black money. The first thing is that there is not any sort of concrete regulation apart from their own guilds. They do not have handbook to work by. They do not have any regulatory authority in case of accountability has to be pinned, as Angadia system works on trust. Criminal activities might also become very rampant within the Angadia system. It might happen that they might, as I told you, Hawala system can become very handy with respect to employing Angadias. Another thing, because the Angadias, this profession goes on for a long period of time. And as I told you, they have fixed routes, they have fixed of a system which is known to their previous employers as well. So if any previous employer gets a hold of any information or intelligence with respect to Angadias working, it might happen that they can victimize the Angadias by robbing them. Similarly goes with the policemen. They might be aware, in order to protect them, they might be aware that they are going through this route, but they did not exercise caution and they resorted to robbing them. Okay, let's move forward and talk about what can be done in order to save such incidences, prohibiting such incidences from happening, saving Angadias. First of all, the government should try to keep a track of Angadia system, and mostly the Angadia system, if the Angadia Association of Bhuleshwar did lodge a complaint, it was but evident that they were doing their job. They actually have to do the job. They are not concerned if that is black money or it's white money. They are doing their job. But through these incidents, the government might keep a track on what is actually happening in the country, why the huge amount is being bypassed. So the government should come out with a plan with respect to making an effort so that the money gets transferred between the traders at a faster pace, because Angadias, they transfer money maybe within 24 hours as well. So what happens that the money shouldn't get stuck so that their trading can go on, and maybe for diamond merchants, transfer fees can also be reduced to a minimum so that they do not have to resort to such system. But one thing, keep in mind that whenever we ban, suppose we are trying to make the Angadias subsidiary to the formal banking system, what about their profession? They are getting unemployed as well. So checks and balances should be there. A regulatory body would do great for Angadias, although they are found in a very localized spaces in Gujarat and Mumbai and Maharashtra regions, other regions as well. But an association, a regulatory body would do great in order to pin accountability. Also, there should be system made by the guilds themselves for better security, right? So that would help a lot. Let's move on and talk about our mains question. What is the Angadia system? Discuss the benefits and the issues related to this system in 150 words. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.